Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, got you in on that drink.
Wow. I'll tell you, start the night out friendly for the folks that are watching us far and wide. Quick shout out to Diet Coke. Hey, they're not sponsoring our show yet, but hopefully they do in the near future. Whew! We were going through some serious audio issues tonight, but like any Friday Night Flies session, we're going to get a little bit of this background noise that's beside me out of the picture. Kill that, whatever that is.
Don't deal, buddy.
Just even kill it. It's probably eating bandwidth. So anyhow, tonight we've got a pretty good show. We got John Horner. I think this is your first time.
Sure
you've been
is.
It's his first night on the big screen, so he's a little nervous. He wanted me to go and throw down a little quick this morning, do the first show. And you know what? To be honest with you, I'm pretty excited to be back. It's been a long vacation from the show. We've been really busy in our real other life, guiding, and our businesses are pretty successful right now. We're busy, and but you know what? Backed by popular demand, Friday Night Flies must continue. So I've got a pretty good show for you. I've got a couple patterns I'm going to go through tonight. But the one I'm tying right now is the BJ pheasant tail fly. And you're probably wondering what the hell the BJ stands for. And in this case, it's big jig. This one is a size 8 jig hook with a very large bead. And to be specific, that one there is a 3.5 mil, and I've also been tying them in a 3.8 as well, in a silver. So I don't know, can you see these other ones that are there, or can you only see the center one? Yeah. So the silver one's a 3.8, the brass one is a 3.5. Other than that, we're going to get busy. So if you can, Mr. Cameraman, take us down to the next camera, which I believe is 4. Pretty high-tech stuff we got here. So we're going to break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're tying on one of our good buddies down in Vancouver, Fly Angler Distributing. He bags up these beautiful hooks, jig fly hooks, and we've been using them. They're all barbless. Robbie, we're saying hello to you. Thanks for taking good care of us up here at Spud Valley Sporting Goods. I had some silver beads here, but I'm trying to find. I'm going to go with the gold one, I guess, if I can't find the silver one. So start out with your jig, and you know what? I think, yeah, there it is. Gold up over the, and we're going to take this other one out of the camera, or the vise. I'm all over the place, man.
A little rusty, are we?
We're crazy like that. You know, to be honest with you, all the audio difficulties that I was having, and we had to do a whole whack of like updates, and you know, I knew this one bead. I kind of, well, get on there. There it is. She slid up over. She was a little crusty there. There we go. Is that still in focus? I think I might have bumped it, but
no, it looks good.
Okay. Okie dokie. So we're starting out with a size 8 jig fly hook, and we're going with a brass 3.5 mil. I'm using 6/0 uni thread in black, and all I'm going to do is just put a little dam on here to keep that brass bead from floating up off its location where it belongs, its home. And I'm going to put a little bit of black thread down on the base here.
Curtis is asking what this fly is good for.
This is magical for catching trout in the rivers right now. I've been using another variation of this one that's been in black. The only reason that I'm tying this one with what I'm using right now is because we just got this stuff in. And if you've never tied pheasant tail nymphs, can you see this, ladies and gentlemen at home?
Looks good, buddy.
SLFs spiky squirrel. This stuff makes your flies look extremely buggy. So anyhow, I was tying more traditional pheasant tails, and the rivers in Pemberton and Whistler and Squamish are just starting to kind of come into shape where we've been able to kind of, you know, see a little bit of shoreline. And that's important, because if you can't see shoreline on the rivers around town, they're probably too high for you to be there in the first place. So, and we're live here at Spud Valley Sporting Goods, and people are walking in off the street.
Is it weird that this is
So what we're doing is we're gonna defer a little bit in the background, try and get that background noise out of the way. But all I did was I break off a ton of stuff, because when you're tying on a size 8, hey, can you maybe tell her to just tone it down just a... And then, so anyhow, when you're tying on a size 8, you want to kind of make sure that your tips are somewhat matching. And then I just kind of rotate it a little bit. Just rotate it in your fingers so that the tips aren't really matching, as in like laying all one way or this way or that way. With buggy, you'll see that if you just roll it in your fingers a little bit, the tail will start pointing in a whole bunch of different directions. And that's kind of what I've found. And with a pheasant tail, usually you keep your tails really short, but with a size 8 jig hook, I found you probably want to put a little bit more off the back end, because also when you're vertical jigs, the tail actually gives it a little movement, and it'll actually start to walk a little bit. Can you see that? Am I doing a pretty good wave here, guys? Yeah. It'll start to do the wave, the walking. And so I leave them a little bit longer on the tail. Probably longer than you typically would with a pheasant tail. Anchored in here. And then I was throwing a little chunk of red. We're going to put a red rib. I kind of like it natural too. You know what? Maybe I'll do a natural, and then I'll do one that's got the red rib. So I'll do the natural. Anchor it. Pull this guy back up. Work it all the way back up to the front. Grab your whip finisher. Throw a quick whip finish. The nice thing about these Griffin or full rotary vices, I mean, there's a lot of real nice vice companies out there now, is that when you're working with these short, thick, buffy stuff, when you start putting your hackle plier on this stuff and you're rolling it around, it just doesn't seem to lay right. So if you grab it with your fingers, like so, and you just use the rotary aspect of the vise, you'll see that you can kind of make some minor adjustments with your finger, applying a little bit more pressure here, a little bit more there, and then, wow, does that ever come out pretty silky smooth, don't it? So, that being said, you want to take it off the cradle now. Move that. Everything's pretty tight in here, because when you're tying live and you got cameras pointing every direction, and there isn't really a lot of room to tie, but you want to make sure that everything's anchored here. Give it a couple good pulls, and then you're going to take this little tip and you're going to go in front of it a couple just to make sure it's anchored, and cut this excess away. So I mean, you could probably fish it just like that and it would catch fish, but in true Friday Night Flies fashion, we're going to make this thing buggy. So we're going to take a little bit of this SLF spiky squirrel, pull it out, spread it out a little bit, I'm going to throw it up on this black uni. We're going to just beefcake this sucker, man. Make it sexy and real buggy. Oh, I missed one of those. Just thread her on there. So I mean, this isn't a very difficult fly to tie, but I'll tell you one thing, man. Pheasant tails are proven around the world, and it doesn't really matter where you are, especially this time of year. They can really produce fish. I'm going to put a little bit more on there, being that it's a size 8 hook. You're going to want to get a little bit more up on the head and the thorax there, just to segment that body, and then you'll see a little trick that we do at the end. from our good friend Scotty Holmes' daughter, Reese. She made us a bunch of popsicle sticks with some Velcro. And then what we do with that is we bug it out. It's coming together nicely, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, at that point, quick whip finish off at the head. That's not too hard. That's not too hard. And then we take this little popsicle stick that we've been talking about that Reese has made us. And we're just going to bug this sucker out a little bit. And there you have it. The BJ pheasant tail fly. Okay, so now, if you guys are down for it, I'll tie the same fly, but we'll put a little red rib in there. Either that or we can cap it at that. What do you guys? You guys want to see this thing tied? Are we seeing any comments in there, ladies and gentlemen?
You're getting bugged about not using a dubbing loop.
You don't really need to. And I mean I could throw down but I mean by the time I would have made the loop and spun it and this and that, you know what? We'll do a dubbing loop on the next fly. So we'll tie another one here quick.
Yeah, come on, Brad. Loops are so trendy right now. Well, you'll get your fill of dubbing loops in the next one here.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna throw down another one here. I just need to find another a jig, a bead here that I think that bead's messed up. Oh, you know what? Let's tie it with a red bead, man. Let's get funky. If we're gonna do a red rib, let's do a red bead head. As we all know that red seems to be the ticket around here. Okay. Who doesn't like redheads? Literally. I know I married one. So, there you go. Friday Night Fly Twist. We're going with a red anodized bead. That one there is also a 3.8. The last one, the brass one, was a 3.5 mil. We're going to put a little bit of a diamond behind this bead just to lock it in place. And hopefully we're not shaking that camera too much. I think it's still pretty steady. Hey, we got a good show for you guys tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm just getting a little bit of a base on the hook here. We're going to work our way up. And like we said, we're at Spud Valley Sporting Goods in downtown Pemberton, 1380 Birch Street. And we are open, so you're going to get a little bit of background noise here from our customers that are walking through the door. We are live, just so you guys know that are back there. We're live, so we can keep her down. We're going to anchor that guy. We're going to put a little bit of that beautiful olive pheasant tail that I've got. I'm going to work it up. Anybody checking in? Any questions there, folks? I got your answers. Hit me up. Cut off those ends, the big bushy ends. So I mean this one is a very easy tie. I mean this is a great tie for someone that's just starting to learn how to tie flies. And you can take it out, catch fish with it. Same thing, you don't want to get too crazy on the length, but you want a little bit there just to kind of hide the hook a little bit. So up on top, we're going to anchor it right off the top, just like so. I'm going to take that red wire, and I know how bad you guys want me to throw a dubbing loop in this next one, so we're going to do it. Don't worry. Holy Toledo, did you see that, cameraman? I had my tongue sticking out again. There was a lot going on there for a couple seconds. We got people walking in off the street that are hungry to go fishing. The fishing's been really good the last few days up here in Pemberton. It's always good up here in Pemberton. Cops are rolling by. There's a little everything going on today, man. Okay, so same thing. Throw a little whip finish off the head. Throw the 3-aught or the 6-aught black thread. We got a full house here. Hopefully it's not too much noise in the background. But anyhow, we got this guy. We're gonna use a
Bringing
rotary.
this back from the room.
How'd it work?
Good, we caught it.
Good.
The rotary features of this vise are coming in very handy tonight. We're gonna work our way back up, banging this sucker off. Start getting in tight here. You're pretty happy that. Oh boy, I lost one. Busy store tonight, that's all I can say. If you're not down at Spud Valley Sporting Goods at 1380 Birch Street right now, it seems like you're missing out on a lot of stuff. A lot of fun stuff. And a lot of good deals going on down here. So keep that guy tight. Always lock it down in the front a couple times. I use that pheasant tail to its fullest. I'll get that chunk out of there. You're bound to miss the odd chunk. Lock that pheasant tail down. We're going to take this wire and we're going to go up all the way to the front, and I have got probably the biggest chunk of wire. I don't even know why I took it off the bobbin right now. That's how thick it is. All the way to the head. We're gonna lock that sucker down. And just for you ladies and gentlemen out there that want to see a quick dubbin loop, we're gonna throw down a quick dubbin loop. You want to get that that wire tucked in. See, the store is full right now, so there's nobody really paying attention to the social media aspect of the show right now, because everybody's on the floor, and I'm just rambling. So to make a dubbin loop, pretty straightforward. If you've never made one, you take a chunk of line or thread, and for this I'm only covering about 1/8 of an inch, so it doesn't need to be really long. I'll make it a little longer than it needs to be. Loop it over, give it one twist, roll it off. Then you take this nifty little tool called a dubbing hook. Hook that dubbing hook in to the loop. You can let it just sit there for now, keeping it tight. You want to get
what are
a
you
little,
up to?
We're live here, so be careful what you're talking in the background there. Everybody wants to be part of the show tonight. So anyhow, we got the dubbing cradle. Pull that sucker off to the side, get it the heck out of the way, and then what we're going to do is just open up this dubbing loop. See, you can see it there. Hopefully you guys can. Is anybody checking what's going on here in the background? And we got this beautiful spiky squirrel by SLF. This one here is the dark brown. Its code is SLF S06. So if you're wondering what the hell I'm using, that's what I'm using. I'm going to take a good chunk of this stuff because I'm going to make it real buggy. So, dubbing loops, super easy. Spread her open. Stick that chunk inside the loop. This is probably a lot more dubbing than I needed. But we're going to make this sucker buggy. And then give it a little pull on the narrow spot. Give her a little spinaroo. Just like that. And you can see how it's starting to spike out. You can take a little chunk of Velcro too at this point and just pull a little bit of that trap stuff out so that it really stays nice and spiky. You can see the difference now. Okay? Then you're going to take your rotary feature, your vise, and just pull it right up tight. Wow, that sure changes the look of that fly, doesn't it? I think that's one too many wraps. We're going to leave it at that.
Oh, you're getting the hat?
Sorry, we got a lot of noise in the background here, ladies and gentlemen. You're just going to lock that guy off. Okay, hopefully we got somebody that's going to be able to help me out here because we're going to be getting close to finishing this fly off here.
I think I got some, but I don't know if I'm riding.
Welcome to Spud Valley Sporting Goods. where it's busy in here. It's real busy in here. So we're just gonna pull that back, throw a whip finish in behind the bead.
Yeah, they could go ahead of me, but
He's gonna get everything before.
Get that whip finishing tool out of there.
Ooh, that was tricky, buddy.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can tell me which one you like better, but you always take your little Velcro at the end of the fly and you just give it a little preening. And you can see how that squirrel dubbing really starts to poke. Starts to poke out and get real buggy. So it's between these two tonight. Which one do you like better? Okay? So we'll just hook that one on there. You can see the two of them together. They're real extra special. Super duper easy to tie. And they got a lot of weight. You can see, like, that guy doesn't even want to stand up on its own right now. Oh, there we go. Can you see the two of them together on there?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's your two. Which one do you like better? And honestly, you don't need to do the dubbing loop. You can see I got a pretty buggy with the other. And that's the two of them together. Size 8 jig hook with a 3.5 in the... Well, where the hell did the bronze one go? Oh, there. I've tied so many of these things tonight. I can't even remember what the hell I'm tying here.
You forgot to glue it down, apparently.
Glue what down? The jig head?
Your thread.
You don't need to glue your thread down. I don't know. You know what? You glue it down if you're not catching fish, and you don't glue it down if you are catching fish, because your flies are only really good for about 5 or 6 of our big toothy fish that are permanent, and you kind of want them to unravel. I always tell guys, like client-wise, after this has caught a fish or two, it really starts to look buggy as all hell. It really does. And you'll see that it starts catching more fish the buggier it gets. But if you go back to camera, I think it is camera 3.
Yeah.
We'll sign out. I've got, are you on camera 3? So this
There
top
we go.
top camera. Once again, I'm going to thank the dear folks at Coca-Cola for making Diet Coke. It's even good to the last drop. So, what we're going to do, right after this, I've got a new case caddis that I've been sitting here working on. It looks pretty fishy. I think it's going to be pretty awesome, and when it's wet it looks completely different. So I'm going to make sure that I got a cup of water here and we get this fly nice and wet. We're going to go over some quick, super easy material and super easy fly tying. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and we've had a lot of really good feedback from everybody coming by the shop. If you haven't come down to Spud, come by, check it out. I've kind of stepped back a little bit in the store. I'm here 3 days a week now, and just because the guiding company really needs my focus, because it's really been busy, crazy busy. Other than that, stop by, say hi, 1380 Birch Street, downtown Pemberton. You can take it out to camera, the last camera on the right. You guys are going to get to see the outro.
Which one, number 1?
No, the last one.
The plus symbol?
No, the one before the plus symbol.
Number 2.